My family forgot my graduation on purpose. Not by accident. Not because of traffic, or work, or bad timing. They chose not to be there. And the moment I realized that, standing alone in my cap and gown while strangers' families cheered around me, something in me snapped so cleanly that I swear I heard it. That day didn't just end a chapter of my life. It ended my last attempt to be part of a family that never wanted me. So I changed my name, walked away without looking back, and that decision changed everything. Let me tell you how it happened. I'm Jessica, middle child, chronic peacemaker, and historically the least noticed member of the Palmer family. My older brother, Cameron, is the golden boy who can do no wrong. My younger sister, Natalie, is the baby princess everyone adores. Me? I was the one who did everything right and still blended into the wallpaper. I worked 2 jobs throughout high school, weekends at Target, evenings tutoring kids in math. I got into Northwestern University with a partial scholarship and worked my way through a degree in biomedical engineering. For years of sleepless nights, lab reports, and crushing student debt, all while my family barely remembered to ask how I was doing. I told my parents about my graduation date 7 months in advance. I sent calendar invites, printed invitations with gold embossing, weekly reminders in the family group chat, even a FaceTime call where I held up the ceremony program and circled the date with a red marker. Every single time, they said the same thing. Of course we'll be there, Jess. Stop being so dramatic. If only I'd known what was coming. My relationship with my family had always been complicated. Growing up in Naperville, Illinois, in a big colonial house with white shutters and a perfect lawn, everything looked fine from the outside. But inside, there was an invisible hierarchy I could never climb. Cameron was the athlete, captain of the lacrosse team, homecoming king, now working some impressive sales job in downtown Chicago. Natalie was the artist, quirky, spontaneous, the kind of person who could show up late to everything and still be forgiven because she was creative. And me? I was responsible Jessica. Boring Jessica. The one who got good grades, never caused trouble, and apparently didn't need attention because I had my life figured out. I spent my childhood watching my parents fill photo albums with Cameron's trophies and Natalie's gallery openings. My debate team medals went into a drawer. My academic awards got a polite "that's nice, honey" before the conversation shifted back to Cameron's latest promotion or Natalie's new boyfriend. I told myself it didn't matter, that I didn't need their validation, that I was building a life for myself that didn't depend on their approval. But deep down, I still wanted them to see me. Just once. That's why graduation mattered so much. It wasn't just about the degree, it was about proving that the invisible daughter could do something extraordinary. Something they had to acknowledge. I should have known better. 3 weeks before graduation, I saw something on Instagram that made my stomach drop like a stone. Natalie had posted a carousel of photos, elaborate floral arrangements, a fancy balloon arch, champagne glasses arranged on a table. The caption read, "Can't wait for Cam's big promotion celebration. May 18th is going to be epic." May 18th. My graduation was May 18th. I stared at my phone screen, reading the date over and over, willing it to say something different. My hands started shaking. This had to be a mistake. A typo. Something. I immediately called my mom. She answered on the 4th ring, distracted. "Hey, Jess, what's up? I'm at Whole Foods. Is Cameron's party really on the 18th? My voice came out higher than I intended. There was a pause. Not the pause of someone realizing they'd made a mistake, the pause of someone annoyed at being questioned. "Oh, relax, Jess. It's the only day the event planner had available. The venue's been booked for months. We'll just go early and leave in time for your thing." Your thing. Not your graduation. Not your big day. Not even your ceremony. Your thing. "Mom, the ceremony starts at 11. If you're hosting a party." Jessica. Her voice took on that edge I knew too well. The one that meant I was being unreasonable. "Don't start with the drama. Cameron's promotion to senior director is a huge deal. The whole family's coming. Aunts, uncles, cousins. We've already sent invitations." "You sent invitations to his party," I said slowly, but I had to beg you to confirm you'd come to my graduation. That's not fair. This party has been in the works for weeks. I told you about graduation 7 months ago. She sighed, long, exasperated, like I was a toddler throwing a tantrum in the cereal aisle. Jess, we'll make it work. We'll leave the party early. You're blowing this out of proportion. But I wasn't. And somewhere deep in my chest, I knew it. That was the first time I realized I wasn't even an afterthought. I wasn't a thought at all. I hung up and sat in my tiny apartment bedroom, the one I shared with my roommate Kelsey in Evanston, and tried to breathe. Outside my window, I could hear students laughing, music playing, the sounds of people celebrating the end of the semester. I felt completely alone. 1 week before graduation, I sent one last message in the family group chat. I kept it simple, direct, impossible to misunderstand. Just confirming, ceremony starts at 11 a.m. sharp. Please try to be there by 10:30 so we can get good seats together. I reserved a whole row. Can't wait to see you all there. Heavy black heart hash. I watched the little check marks appear. Read receipts showed that everyone had seen it. No one replied. Not a thumbs up. Not a heart emoji. Not even Natalie's usual string of random emojis that meant nothing. Nothing. I stared at that message for hours, refreshing the chat like somehow a response would magically appear. But it didn't. The next morning, Cameron texted me separately. Hey. Just FYI, don't expect people to ditch my celebration. This promotion is kind of a big deal. You get it. I read that message 5 times. Don't expect people to ditch my celebration. As if my graduation, 4 years of backbreaking work, sleepless nights, and tens of thousands of dollars in debt, was something you could just ditch. As if I was asking for too much by wanting my own family to show up. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. Instead, I just typed back. Congratulations on the promotion. That was all I could manage. He didn't respond to that either. Kelsey found me sitting on the kitchen floor that afternoon, staring at nothing. Jess? You okay? I looked up at her, my roommate of 3 years, the person who'd stayed up with me through every brutal exam, every crisis, every moment I thought I couldn't make it. They're not coming, I whispered. What? My family. They're throwing Cameron a party the same day as my graduation. And they're not coming. Kelsey sat down next to me, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. That's insane. They can't just. They can. They are. I laughed, but it came out bitter. I don't even know why I'm surprised. Have you talked to your dad? I shook my head. He never goes against Mom. Whatever she decides, he goes along with. This is so messed up, Jess. Yeah, I said quietly. Yeah, it really is. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every family dinner where I'd been talked over, every holiday where my accomplishments were glossed over in favor of Cameron's stories or Natalie's latest drama. I'd spent my whole life trying to earn a spot at the table, and I was finally realizing that no matter what I did, there would never be room for me. The night before graduation, my phone buzzed during dinner. Kelsey and I were eating Thai takeout, pad Thai for her, green curry for me, and celebrating the end of finals. I thought it was my mom, finally confirming travel plans. Instead, it was Natalie. So we're doing a sleepover after Cam's party to help clean up and prep brunch the next morning. Mom said we won't make your thing. Sorry, I guess shrug #hash. The fork slipped from my hand and clattered against my plate. Jess. Kelsey leaned forward. What's wrong? I couldn't speak. I just handed her my phone. She read the message, and her face went pale. Are you kidding me? Sorry, I guess. Not even a real apology. Just casual indifference. Like my graduation was a dentist appointment they'd have to reschedule. My hands were shaking as I called my mom. She answered cheerfully. Hey, sweetie. Mom. My voice cracked. Natalie just told me you're not coming tomorrow. There was a pause. Then a sigh. Oh, honey, the timing just didn't work out. Cameron's party is going later than we thought, and we can't just leave in the middle of it. You understand, right? We'll see all the photos afterward. We are so proud of you. Proud. Yet not enough to show up. You promised, I whispered. You promised me you'd be there. Jessica, don't guilt-trip me. This is a big day for Cameron too. You're not the only one with important things happening. Something inside me turned to ice. Right, I said flatly. Of course. We'll celebrate when you come home for the summer. We can go to the Cheesecake Factory or something. The Cheesecake Factory. As if dinner at a chain restaurant could replace watching your daughter walk across the stage after 4 years of hell. Sure, Mom. Sounds great. I hung up before she could hear me cry. Kelsey pulled me into a hug while I sobbed into her shoulder. Ugly, broken sobs that I'd been holding back for years. I hate them, I choked out. I hate that I keep trying. I hate that I still care. You're allowed to care, Jess. They're your family. They've never been my family. Not really. That night, something inside me hardened. The part of me that kept reaching for them, kept hoping they'd change, it finally went numb. And honestly, it was almost a relief. I woke up at 6 a.m. on graduation day. For a few seconds, I forgot what day it was. Then it all came rushing back, and my stomach twisted into knots. Part of me, some stupid, hopeful part, still thought they might surprise me. Show up at the last minute with flowers and apologies. Kelsey helped me get ready, zipping up my navy graduation gown and fixing my cap so it sat straight. You look amazing, she said softly. I forced a smile. Thanks. Jessica. She hesitated. If they don't come, it's not because of you. You know that, right? I nodded, but tears were already burning behind my eyes. We got to the auditorium at Northwestern's lakefront campus early. The May morning was beautiful, sunny, breezy, Lake Michigan sparkling in the distance. Families were everywhere, taking photos, laughing, crying happy tears. I'd reserved 5 seats in a prime section, 3rd row, center. I'd even made little name cards, Mom, Dad, Cameron, Natalie, and one that just said family. I kept checking my phone. 10:15 a.m., nothing. 10:30 a.m., nothing. 10:45 a.m., nothing. Jess, Kelsey whispered. We need to line up. I looked at those 5 empty seats one last time. The name cards looked ridiculous now. Pathetic. I grabbed them and shoved them in my purse. When we lined up with the other engineering graduates, I felt numb. Around me, people were buzzing with excitement, adjusting their caps, practicing their walk across the stage. I just felt hollow. The ceremony began. The dean gave a speech about perseverance and achievement. A student sang the national anthem. And then, one by one, they started calling names. My row stood up. Families cheered, screaming, whistling, holding up signs with glitter and photos. The dean's voice boomed through the microphone. Jessica Marie Palmer. I walked across that stage in complete silence. No cheers. No applause. Just the polite clapping of strangers who didn't know me. But then, go Jessica. That's our girl. I looked up, stunned. Kelsey's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Brennan, were on their feet, screaming and waving a homemade sign that said Congratulations Jessica, in huge purple letters. Other graduates around me laughed and clapped louder. I accepted my diploma with tears streaming down my face. That moment, strangers cheering while my own family was toasting champagne at a party 2 hours away, was the cleanest, sharpest heartbreak I've ever felt. But it was also the moment I finally let go. After the ceremony, I walked outside into the bright sunshine. Families were everywhere, taking photos, hugging, crying. The Brennans pulled me into a group hug. We are so proud of you, sweetie, Mrs. Brennan said, squeezing me tight. Thank you, I whispered. Thank you for being here. Are your folks running late? Mr. Brennan asked gently. I shook my head. They didn't come. The look on their faces, shock, anger, sympathy, almost broke me all over again. I pulled out my phone. Still nothing from my family. So I texted the group chat. Graduation's over. 2 minutes later, my mom responded. Oh shoot. We totally lost track of time cleaning up after the party. We'll video call later tonight. So proud of you though. 2 hearts. A smiling emoji. That emoji felt like a slap across the face. Then Cameron sent a photo. Him holding a champagne bottle, Natalie on his shoulders, both of them laughing. My parents were visible in the background, smiling. His message said, "Epic day. Sorry we missed your thing, sis. You understand. We'll make it up to you." I stared at that photo for a long time. They looked so happy, so complete. Like I didn't exist at all. Kelsey found me sitting alone on a bench by the lake, still in my cap and gown. "Jess." I showed her the messages without saying anything. She read them, and her expression turned furious. "Are you kidding me? Are they actually?" "It's fine," I said quietly. "It's not fine. This is." "Kelsey." I looked at her. "It's fine. Because I'm done." "What?" "I'm done trying. I'm done hoping they'll change. I'm done being the daughter they don't want." Something had shifted inside me. The hurt was still there, but underneath it was something harder. Stronger. Clarity. That night, back at our apartment, Kelsey's parents took us all to Gibson's Steakhouse in downtown Chicago, a fancy place I never could have afforded. They ordered champagne and made toast after toast to my accomplishments. Mr. Brennan stood up, glass raised. "To Jessica, one of the smartest, hardest-working young women I've ever met. Your family doesn't know what they're missing." I cried again. But this time, they weren't sad tears. They were grateful ones. Later that night, at 2 a.m., I sat cross-legged on my bed with my laptop open. I pulled up the Illinois legal name change forms. My hands didn't shake. My heart didn't race. I just filled them out, line by line. Current legal name, Jessica Marie Palmer. Requested new name, Jessica Marie Brennan. I chose Kelsey's last name, the family that had shown up, that had cheered, that had made me feel seen. When I clicked submit and paid the filing fee, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Free. 3 days later, my mom texted, "So when are we doing graduation photos? Just put your cap and gown back on this weekend and we'll stage some nice family pictures." Stage some nice family pictures. Fake it. Pretend it happened. Post it on Facebook so everyone would think they'd been there. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I typed, "You won't need to worry about family pictures anymore. I've legally changed my last name. Please don't contact me again." I hit send before I could second-guess myself. Within minutes, my phone exploded. Cameron called. I declined. Natalie texted, "Wait, what? You're being so dramatic, OMG." My dad, who hadn't said a word to me in weeks, suddenly called 3 times in a row. Then Cameron again, leaving a voicemail. "Are you seriously cutting us off over ONE missed event? You're being completely unstable, Jess. You need therapy or something. This is insane." I listened to the whole message. Then I blocked his number. One by one, I blocked all of them. My mom sent one final text before I blocked her too. "You're making a huge mistake. Family is forever. You'll regret this." But I didn't. I packed up my apartment, said goodbye to Kelsey, who cried and made me promise to stay in touch, and moved to Boston for a research position at a biotech startup. New city. New name. New life. At work, people called me Dr. Brennan. I'd gone straight into a PhD program, something I never would have had the confidence to do before. For the first time in my life, I wasn't living in anyone's shadow. I made real friends, people who valued me, who remembered my birthday, who showed up when they said they would. I started therapy and learned that it was okay to grieve the family I'd wanted, even while accepting the family I'd actually had. I learned that walking away wasn't giving up, it was choosing myself. 2 years later, I published my first research paper. It made some waves in the medical community, nothing huge, but enough that a few news outlets picked it up. My former professor from Northwestern sent me a congratulatory email. At the bottom, almost as an afterthought, she wrote, "P.S. Someone reached out asking for your contact information. A Natalie Palmer? Said she's your sister. I didn't give her anything, but wanted you to know." My heart skipped. But I didn't respond to Natalie. Didn't reach out. Because here's what I'd learned. Some people will only want you back when they realize you're doing fine without them. And I was doing more than fine. I was thriving. That decision, to change my name and walk away, changed everything. It gave me back my life. And I've never looked back since.